We all know American liberty is facing the worst crisis in our nation's history. People are afraid and they want to know what they can do about it. Hi, I'm Tom DeWeese, president of the American Policy Center. One of the main reasons we face such a situation is that we who support limited government have failed to create a permanent organizational infrastructure from which to fight back locally, a structure capable of winning right there in your own community. Rather, we're constantly surprised and unprepared to counter the daily attacks on our liberties. That's why the American Policy Center has developed a plan for local activists to build such an infrastructure. I call it building a freedom pod. Today, I want to share a conversation with a gentleman from Louisiana. His name is Chris Crackman, and he's a leader of a group right down there in the Shreveport area called the Caddo Alliance for Freedom, which has been incredibly successful in their own community after organizing just the right way. And you know what? They are winning. How did they do it? Well, I'm going to let Chris tell you in his own words.
We had our first meeting with the public, and we didn't even know what we were talking about, to be honest. None of us were politically involved. They all but laughed us out of the door. They basically patted us on the head and sent us out the door. We got news coverage, and the news basically aired us as, conspiracist, crazy people. We started going through the ordinances and trying to educate ourselves on the statutes. Danny started a petition, picked up speed. We printed flyers with just the facts, and we started going door to door. And whenever we started going door to door and talking to people, that's when we really started picking up traction and people started asking questions. We started what we called a meme campaign, where we would put up pictures of everyday activities, people working on cars, pictures of chicken coops and stuff like that with a big X through them and saying, this is what you cannot have in rural Caddo Parish. And we would put a new one up every day for the next month. And people really started to get on board. Started the grassroots campaign, and it exploded. After getting everybody together, educating the public, we were up to several thousand followers on Facebook. We had several people that were volunteering to go door to door. It wasn't us five anymore. There were dozens of us in all corners of the parish. And then we put out a campaign to pack the commission. We ended up with 400 people at the commission meeting. They can only sit maybe 200. They had to call the fire marshal in to set up chairs in the hallways. And so we finally got up on the podium with a little bit better knowledge than we had before. And we were able to educate our commission on what they could and couldn't do. And they had no idea. The first time we came and saw them, there was 5 of us. They patted us on the head like good little citizens, and we went out the door. Well, this time we brought the army with us, and they were physically shaking. There were some of them before the meeting started that were taking pictures of the big crowd because it was the largest crowd that had ever been in Government Plaza. And one by one, and 3 minutes at a time, we all told them what we thought about their rules.
This is Act number 34 of the 1954 House legislation. Yesterday I went to the MPC and I actually went through this with them to tell them that they actually do have the power to recommend to you that we get the master plan and the UDC repealed and replaced with something else that is for our area. The master plan wasn't for our area. It was made by outside forces that are spreading this cancer all across the United States right now. These plans are the same. You go look other places. It's the same in Boston. It's the same in California. How can this be? But, you start putting the facts together, you start seeing that this was set up to take our power, to take our property rights.
We packed the House like that 4 or 5 times. And we packed the House on the Metropolitan Planning Commission, and they banged the gavel on us and more or less ran us out and said they didn't want to listen to us. And the director of the Planning Commission finally admitted that maybe we didn't read the master plan the way we thought we did. Maybe we didn't read these ordinances the way we thought we did. And he said, quote unquote, "I think we did a poor job of informing the public." So right then we knew that we had paper tigers on our hands. You know, we're to the point to where we can tell them exactly how we want the law to be. And it's a fantastic thing, because when we first went to them, and as the uneducated, concerned citizens that we were, we had the parish assistant attorney met us after the meeting. He came out into the hallway, and he addressed me and Jake, the gentleman whose video we just watched, and he said, "What are y'all doing?" He said, don't y'all understand that this is how planning goes now? This is how planning and zoning goes." He said, it's all over the country. It's been that way for a few years now. He said, "If anything, we're a little behind." He said, there's nothing y'all can do about it. Everyone is adopting these codes." And and so we just kind of looked at him. We were like, well, then we definitely want to be the first to change it. We will be the first to set precedents in this state, period. There's no question about it. And that's exactly what we did. After everybody told us not to, we can't, this is the way things are. It's been this way since, I think, 2016 was whenever they adopted these codes. The 2030 master plan was adopted in 2010. So we came in on the back end after it had already passed. It had already been ratified. The commission had already approved it. And so now we're to the point that even after it was passed, we didn't come in on the front end. Even after coming in on the back end, we still have it to where we can change it. We can repeal it. We can get rid of this disgusting 2030 master plan. Once we communicated with the public and we had a large following, it came easy because everyone stuck together. And our following consists of people, you know, left, right, and center. But one common ground that we all have is our private property, because without private property, what else do you have? It all came from all of us common, everyday, blue-collar people getting on the podium and educating our commission on what the law was and what they did and didn't have the right to do. Through their negligence, we did nothing but grow. We grew more educated. We got more politically involved, and we got more people politically involved. And now they're listening. Now they hear us. Now they know that their employers are powerful.
So, what can you do? The American Policy Center has prepared an entire plan of action, including the background information, the tools, and the tactics to build a permanent infrastructure for action right there in your own community. Follow these very basic organizing tools, and you will be ready for any new and dangerous policy suddenly appearing in your local government. For all the details, please go to our website at americanpolicy.org and see the multi-year archive of articles that reveal the root of the policies now invading your local government. Then get a copy of our activist handbook. View our activist training webinars. There's 9 of them so far, and there's more coming. And begin the journey to create your own Freedom Pod. These tactics work in city councils, county commissions, local boards of education, and even in your state legislature. With APC's Freedom Pod tools, you will build the permanent organizational infrastructure from which to quickly mount opposition or a defense in some cases. You won't be taken by surprise, and you will be ready every single day. Start to win in your own community, and neighboring communities will want to know how you did it. And then they'll start to do the same thing, and then the next, and then the next. You will be planting the seeds for others to take effective action. And that's how we take back our freedoms. I hope you'll join us. Go to americanpolicy.org and let's get started. Thank you.